we need to get into fall. Like, it is about time that I go in on a fall makeup tutorial. I feel like I do these every year. Excuse my shirt, it is very boobage today, which I did not mean to. I didn't mean for it to be like this. We're gonna count on the camera to cut that off because we're wholesome over here. I'm so excited to jump into this tutorial, and for once in my life, I'm not gonna make this intro long. Okay, let's just jump into today's video. But before we do, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Don't think I'm not watching anymore. Click the subscribe button and like this video because it means so much to me when you guys do that, and it honestly helps me out a lot. So if you like my channel, if you like supporting and watching my videos, just subscribe. Do it real quick. It takes literally 2 seconds and it's free. I haven't done a makeup tutorial in forever and I really miss doing makeup. I kind of have just been focusing on other things like Her Little House, which is my online clothing store that I just started. If you don't follow Her Little House, or if you haven't shopped Her Little House, check out the description box. I'll have info on it down below. Just prepping my lids with some concealer. I used Cover FX Power Play concealer for my lids. I pulled out my Morphe X James Charles palette, which literally has tons of colors in here. This palette is so good. Even if you want just a neutral eye, you can use this, and I love this palette. It literally has everything. I might dabble into this palette as well. This is the Naked Urban Decay Wild West palette. And it's really pretty. It has some like turquoise blues with some warm browns in there. Okay, let's do this, you guys. I'm gonna start out with my eyes. Obviously, I always start out with my eyes. Taking the Urban Decay Naked Wild West palette, I'm taking this shade called Nudie, which kind of looks like just like a nice neutral brown. You guys always know I like to start light and then work my way up towards the darker colors. Also, throughout this tutorial, most of the eye brushes that I'm using are from BH Cosmetics. I really want to place an order on Morphe just to get new brushes. I feel like my brushes are so old and I need like a revamp of makeup brushes. So if you guys have any recommendations of like sets that I should get or just random brushes, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm gonna pick up the James Charles palette and I'm taking this kind of like light orange color. I'm just gonna tap that on the outer lid, but I'm not putting it like along the lash line because I want to save that for another color. So I'm just putting it right up there, kind of working it in that winged motion, but not quite putting it in the very outer corner, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of using a stamping motion with a angled blending brush. I love working with this palette because the colors are so good and there's just such a huge range of like where you could take it. It's like you almost look at this palette and get a little confused. You're like, wait, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Just because there's so many options in his palette and I really, really love that. Is James Charles still canceled? I don't keep up with like all of the drama. I keep up with some of it and I just don't know. Okay, now I'm gonna take the color right under that. This one is like a true burnt orange color and I am going to put that kind of like in a smaller area right below that and just blend them together. So I'm really like laying the colors down to be layered up to get me that perfect blend. And I'm picking up, the darker the shadow gets, the kind of like less product I'm picking up. That way I can really work with it and make sure things don't get too crazy too soon. You know what I mean? So you guys can see I'm really dragging that out. Like this is the corner of my eye. This is how far I drag it out. That's just my thing when it comes to my eye shape. I love elongating my eye shape. I just really like that look. So I always tend to gravitate more towards eye makeup looks like that. Back to the Urban Decay Wild West palette. I'm taking this color right here called Tex, which is a matte turquoise blue. It's like a deep ocean blue. That is what I'm putting in the very outer corner in the lower, kind of like the lash line area, and I'm gonna wing it out. I'm using a very light tapping motion so that way I can carefully blend it into the orange colors. You have to be so careful when you work with blue eyeshadows because it can literally just get everywhere and then it explodes in your face and you're like, okay, now I have a bruised looking eye. So you have to be really, really careful. I'm just continuing to kind of layer it and blend it out, but I really want the blue to seamlessly blend into those burnt orange shades, which I think is going very well so far, but I don't want to jinx it, you know? Okay, now I want to bring some gold onto the lid, but I'm gonna cut the first half of my crease with a little bit of concealer. I'm just doing it on the first half. No kind of like dramatic cut crease, but just to create a little bit of that definition. I swear when cutting a crease, I don't breathe. Like I literally hold my breath. Now I'm going to take this gold color from the James Charles palette. It is the third one over. It is just like a perfect true gold shade. And I'm picking that up on a big flat shadow brush. And I'm just going to press that right over the area where I put the concealer. I love these colors together. I feel like they're so complementary. I'm going to take a little bit of the orange color on that tiny, tiny blending brush that I had. And I'm just going to go right through the crease, right over where I made that line of the cut crease. I'm just kind of going at the top with the tiniest product. And it just kind of helps like define that line right there. So just take a little bit and go right over the crease, right over where I made that line, and it just makes it look a lot cleaner, a lot sharper. I'm just going over the gold with a little bit of what I had on that angled brush before, and just making sure the gold eyeshadow on my lid is blending in nicely with the orange on my crease. Just really making sure that I have a seamless blend in there. It's all in the details, so I'm going back in with that turquoise blue and making sure that it's nice and pigmented the way I want it on that outer corner there. Okay, I'm gonna leave the eyes where they're at because I'm pretty happy with how they're looking right now. And I'm just gonna put a couple layers of mascara on my top lashes. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I really, really like this one, but it can definitely get very clumpy if you're not careful with how you apply it. I'm gonna continue on with my face and I'll come back to the eyes later. I am using Fit Me foundation from Maybelline. This is the matte and poreless one. I have been loving this foundation. I'm in the shade 220 Natural Beige. I have prepped my skin already with moisturizer and SPF, so I always have my skin nice and moisturized before I use this because it is matte and poreless, but I honestly, you guys, I feel like it's not too matte, which is why I like the foundation. It's one of those foundations that is like a natural matte, and it just looks so good on my skin. I use my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection brush. This is number 7. It's double-ended, and this is also a really amazing brush for blending out your foundation or concealer. And of course, you know, I have to go in with my Cover FX Power Play Concealer in G Light 2, which I'm actually running low on. I'm literally scraping the bottle. I have to get a new one. This is my favorite concealer of all time. It has the coverage of Tarte Shape Tape, which I know a lot of people love, but I hate that concealer because it's so drying. It has the coverage of Shape Tape, but nowhere near as dry as that one. This one is a lot more hydrating, I find. I blend that out with my favorite sponge, which is by e.l.f. It is literally $3. It is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge, and I feel like if you're still spending $20-something on a beauty blender, like, please stop. This here is just as good, and I find that it's in even better shape than the beauty blender. Like, it just fits so perfectly in every area that you could ever need. And you can see I was able to use the tip of this sponge to really like kind of clean up, lightly clean up that wing area. And now that the concealer is done, the eyes look even better. Going in with my Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Honey Glaze and using my Fenty brush. This is the 125 Face Brush. It's just like an angled bronzer brush that is so yummy and delicious. And I like to put my cream bronzer kind of where I used to put blush. So I literally put it like on my cheeks. Not so much only like right here. I legit put it on my cheeks. And it looks so good. It makes my face look a lot more lifted. Who watched Love Island season 7? How good was it? I watched it on Hulu, the UK Love Island. I didn't watch Love Island, the US Love Island season 3 though. I need to get on that. For all of my Love Island stans, please go off in the comments. I'm obsessed with Love Island. Okay, now that my cream bronzer is on, I'm gonna set all of the liquid products that I put on my face. Just making sure I have no creasing under my eyes. I'm using Laura Mercier's translucent powder, a cult favorite, a go-to, honey. Oh my god, I love this stuff so freaking much. Drag it underneath. You see how it brightens? I mean, my under eyes were already bright before, but it just... I really don't leave it on for any time at all. I don't let it sit. It just, that doesn't work for my skin type. My skin is too dry. It like clings onto the powder if I let it sit for too long. So I just put it on and almost immediately dust it off. But while I'm dusting it off, I kind of move the excess powder all around my face. So that way whatever's left over gets dusted on the rest of my face to kind of set everything without having to actually go in with a second powder all over my face and set it, because then things start to look a little crusty dusty, and I'm not trying to look crusty dusty, okay? I like to mix 2 blushes, so I go in with my NARS. This is the Orgasm on the Beach palette. They only have this left in stock on the Macy's website right now. So if you're interested in getting your hands on this, I will link it down below for you. But it's literally sold out everywhere else. It is the most gorgeous palette. And then a cheaper option for blush is the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Orange Truffle palette, which is so good for peach blushes. Has a couple shimmers, a couple mattes, and it just has like a full range of peach blushes. I love it. I obviously use this one the most. I take a little bit of that on a BH Cosmetics blush brush and I put that right over top on my cheeks. Oh, I forgot to set my bronzer. I hate when I skip steps. I swear I hate when I do that. I'm going in with IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores bronzer in the shade Beach. Taking a little bit of that and just lightly. I don't use too much powder bronzer, especially when I've already gone in with cream bronzer. And then I go in with the NARS palette. I take this orange shade right here. It's a beautiful like orange shimmer, and I just put a little bit of that because it is very shimmery. So this one has a slight shimmer to it, but it's not like glittery or shimmery at all. It kind of just has a subtle glow to it in this blush. And then for a little bit of that sheen look, I go in with this one, but I don't use as much as this one just because it's so shimmery that I kind of want it as just like a blush topper. And then in this same palette, I go in with highlight. This is the highlight called Turtle Bay. I don't know if they have this one in an individual like highlight on the NARS website, but in this palette, it's called Turtle Bay. So maybe I'll try to look and find it for you guys, but this has been my favorite. Like once this runs out, I don't know what I'm going to use because it's been so good to me. Then I'm going to go and fix my brows up because they look absolutely insane. I like the kind of more untamed look in my brows right now, and I'm also using the Urban Decay Brow Blade, which I really love. It has this tiny little paintbrush for the brows, and I love it. I just go in and like paint these little strokes, and at first it kind of looks subtle. It might look like it's not enough until you keep doing it, and then you're like, oh my god, it looks like I got microbladed. Okay, I've got a good shape with that. I literally love this brow product so much, and what I love about it too is that after I kind of paint those strokes in, they're not like tattooed on there. I can go in lightly with my spoolie and they do lighten up when I brush through them, which is really nice. I hate anything that gets too stuck onto my brows and doesn't allow me to kind of like tame it down a little bit, you know what I mean? I also typically go in with a brow gel just to add that extra spike to them. And here I'm using the Benefit Cosmetics Give Me Brow or Gimme Brow, and I just like to brush them up to create a little bit more texture on them. I'm all about the fluffy brow now, you guys. Like, I'm digging it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some lashes. The lashes that I'm using are by Eylure, and it is the Line & Lash Faux Mink Wispy lashes. Comes in this box. I'm gonna go ahead and apply these and I'll be right back. Lashes are on and I am obsessed. Like, lashes just really know how to complete the look. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little smoky on the bottom lash line. First I'm gonna take Nudie, which is that shade that I first put in my crease, just to kind of lay that down. Then I'm gonna take Ghost Town, which is that warm like orangey brown. Keep that on the outer lash line first. And then I'm gonna take Whiskey, which is a little bit of a darker brown, and I'm just gonna put that just right in the outer corner, like just a little bit right there. And now for another little pop of color, I'm taking this shade Bud, which is a shimmery turquoise that is so pretty, and I wanted to use this just to kind of complement the blue that's in there. And I'm gonna put this on the inner part of my lower lash, so kind of like tear duct, but blending it into the browns in there. I know this could be a lot for some of you. You guys are like, whoa, that's a lot of color. But you know what? Go big or go home. I haven't done a makeup tutorial in so long and I wanted to like go all out, so here I am. And then I'm gonna make sure it's blended together with the brown. I am gonna go and finish off my lips. I'm doing a pretty basic nude for my lips today because the eyes are so dramatic. So I am taking Urban Decay's Conspiracy Lip Liner. Boom. And then I'm going in with NARS lipstick in Honolulu Honey, which you can only find this lipstick on the NARS, directly on the NARS website, not on Sephora. I would throw some Fenty lip gloss over, but I'm kind of feeling the matte lip right now. And that is it, you guys. This is the final look. Some pops of blue. This is the final look. I hope you guys can see like that smoky turquoise liner. And then it pops in the corner here. Oh, I love it. Any video requests, please put them in the description down below because it helps me so much when I know what you guys want to see. If you want to see outfit videos, hauls, makeup hauls, things that you need to buy from Sephora, like different videos like that, I am so in the filming mood. So comment down below what you want to see. And of course, as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to subscribe because you know how much it means to me from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!